Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. How is everybody?
Well, I guess first, can everybody
We should
hear
say
us
who
and
we
see?
are.
Yeah.
Okay, can everybody see us and hear us?
All right. That'll take a minute to answer back. But I'm Kelly. This is my friend,
Noelle.
Well, and together we are Knits and Pieces.
Mhm.
We are a multi-crafting, but mostly knitting podcast. And we are coming to you from Southern Ontario in Canada.
Mhm.
And it's a much more bearable day today. The sun is shining. It's beautiful. But like I'm in 3/4 sleeves and I'm not too hot. So, and you're in 3/4 sleeves. Imagine that.
We didn't even plan that. We didn't even plan that. It was, I know you had to work, but it was an absolutely gorgeous day. I sat outside probably for, I'd say from probably 11 o'clock till 4 o'clock. Just, took my knitting out, had my audio book, listening to it, and it was just a beautiful day to sit outside. No humidity, just very pleasant. So it was nice to finally have that, because it has been quite warm, and I think that's been the same in a lot of places, that it's been really warm. And we, at least in our area in Sarnia, Courtright, we've been lucky that we didn't get hit by some of the thunderstorms that people got hit with in some other places in Ontario, and I mean throughout. But
right.
So, but anybody, welcome everybody. This is the Knit Chat Cafe. This is our little get together that we have every Tuesday, and we kind of want to see what you're knitting and what you're making, and we'll share with you what we're making, what we plan to make, what we finished or not finished, what we bought, which I bought nothing.
I bought.
Nothing. So
I bought. So if it's your first time here, welcome. And if you are, if you've been with our channel for a while and this is a return visit for you, welcome back. This is it's very welcoming. So if you are here for the first time and you are near a keyboard, feel free to jump right in.
Mm-hmm.
We can see the comments here on the screen, and the way we run this is we don't really have a scheduled format. We're just going to go through some things. So if you have a question, don't be shy, type it in. If we don't get to the question, type it in again. Yes,
because there's a lot of chat going on. It's sometimes hard to keep up with it, but we want to welcome everybody. Today, Irene, I saw that you were in here first today and kind of got things started. So yeah, so thanks for that. And we're going to see you soon. Just 2 more sleeps.
Two more sleeps. Yes, 2 more sleeps.
And I'm not even going to have any naps before then.
No napping on the train, lady.
No napping on the train. No, I got someone's got to make you knit on the train.
I know. So I posted a question on our channel last night, and it's funny. People really know us. I said, we're going on a little trip to Chicago. How many projects do you think that we should pack? How many whips? And the people that answered said that Noelle would pack more than me. But one commenter said that we would start out with a couple, but we would come back with more. So that's probably exactly how it's going to happen. So we just make sure that we're taking lots of needles so that we can cast on all the new things.
Yeah. I always bring my needle set with me, because you just never know when you have to start something new.
Right? With it's like a knitting emergency, and you've got to get something new on the needles.
That's right.
Considering that we're going to be in Chicago and with so many other knitters, I'm positive that there's going to be tons of inspiration in the room. And by the time we leave, if we haven't cast on something new, there's going to be new things to talk about next week that we absolutely have to make.
Yes.
So
if anybody's in the Chicago area, or I saw earlier, Irene was kind of telling someone to get on the train and come with us. If you're anywhere along that route, we are going to,
we'll just pick people up as we go, like the yarn raft, Irene.
We are going this weekend to Hoffman Estates, which is just outside. I believe it's about 30 miles northwest of Chicago. So we're taking the train into, I don't know, do you call it Midtown in Chicago? I don't know, wherever the middle train station is in Chicago, and then taking an Amtrak train to go out to Hoffman Estates. So we're so excited. Yeah, I just You know,
Well,
and
Karen's
this time,
in here. Are you coming, Karen? Like she's from the Chicago
from
area.
Chicago. Yeah, Karen, are you coming?
Yeah, are you coming? Will we see you? Yeah, and I know that a few other people have reached out. Sandy is coming, and so she'll be there, and a few other people have reached out and said they're going to be there. So we're really looking forward to meeting some new knitty friends in person. And yeah.
So Sarah says that she's sure that Amtrak wouldn't mind some unscheduled stops to pick up knitters.
No, I'm sure the train stops for knitters, right? Okay.
Yeah. So I've spent a lot of today figuring out what I'm going to take.
That's going to be my job tonight.
At work
when we're
tomorrow.
done. No, I'll be lucky to survive work tomorrow. I have so much on my plate. I don't have a spare minute to do me things at work. If you can imagine, I have only work things to do. So I'm going to work on that tonight. I'm going to try to organize knit bags, try to figure out what size of a suitcase that I want to wrestle with on the train. I was
thinking about that too.
I was leaning towards a carry-on and then a backpack because it's just so much easier. But then I thought, well, oh gosh, if we buy yarn, and you know, we might, right? We might, but it's squishy.
Yep. I went to New York in October with just a carry-on and I brought home lots of yarn, and this is summer and it's summer garments. I figure I can do, like, I think I'm going to take my basket, my big blue MoMA basket, and put my projects in there and just carry that on my arm. And then just, Irene says we need a full-size suitcase. Maybe one of us needs to bring a full-size suitcase.
Okay, so nobody would notice if I wore the same clothes all weekend, right? Just to save room for the yarn. Nobody would care. Nobody would notice. Yeah, and we can always bring back shopping bags.
Yeah,
you're right,
exactly.
Irene.
That's right. It's not like a train. It's not like the plane where, you know, like you got to stuff everything in overhead compartments. And
I just remember that when we went to Montreal and we had the full-size suitcases, let me just say that traveling on the train is not quite like traveling on the plane. You are responsible to get your suitcase up and down those train stairs and haul it all around with you. It's not like arriving at the airport, dropping it off at the baggage, and then forgetting about it until you get there. So there is a little bit more effort, but you're right. It is summer. So there should be less clothing.
That's right. And you mean when we went to Montreal, like we were taking like Blundstones and dressier shoes and, you know, sandals take a whole lot less space than that. So,
and summer wear takes less.
Yeah.
No coats. Yeah, absolutely.
No coats, that's right.
We're getting lots of hints. People are telling us to bring duffel bags.
Well, we could bring like a duffel bag that rolls up just in case we need it, right? For the way back.
Just right. Yeah. Who cares if we wrestle on the way back with it?
That's right. The way back's the way back.
We just want to get there looking fresh and, you know, well-traveled. Or not. It doesn't really matter.
The way home doesn't
matter. We're going to be a hot mess no matter what. Just beware, Irene. We're going to be a hot mess. So, yeah, I think nobody would care if we wore the same clothes every day. All right.
So.
All right.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about what you're wearing?
Sure.
It's beautiful.
This is the Love Note. It is by Tin Can Knits. It's done in Barocco Summer Silk. Summer silk is cotton and silk. I don't remember. You just did something in it, Kelly. Do you remember? It's really light. Anyways, it comes in.
I know it has. Silk.
I know, but I said, what's the composition? Does it? I know it has. I think it has cotton. It has silk, but I don't know if there's anything else in it. But anyway, I don't think so. It comes in 50-gram like cakes, and this took less than 3. So it's a really nice light. Airy summer top. I love it. So
it's really pretty.
And the Love Note pattern really shows up nicely when you get a yarn that's a little bit more plain. Like when you do it with a speckled yarn and you put like a mohair with it. I still love the way it looks, but you just don't see the pattern as much.
You don't see the lace, no.
Right.
Not as much. Not as much.
But this would look, I think that this top would look amazing in the bell. It
would. It would. It would look really good.
Yeah. And it would be a really nice summer sweater.
So. And I happen to have another sweater quantity. I would have way more.
And I love knitting this pattern. So, okay. So what are you wearing, Kelly?
I'm wearing the Penny Pinafore and it's a dress. So there's no way I can stand up and show you the whole thing. So I popped in a couple of photos that I will show you. This is it's a pattern by So Liberated. And it's really a cute pattern because it has, and I'm using the mouse as a pointer. I know you can't see it, but for me, I can see it. It has, or it's, it's better than using my finger, which nobody can see either, but it has, so it's like a coverall front, and then it has the straps cross in the back, and then the back of the waist gathers, and it has these cute little pockets on the bottom too. The back of the dress is longer than the front of the dress. So it kind of reminds me of like the Beauty and the Beast Belle, when she's off to her little French provincial town to gather her eggs and bread in the morning. It sort of reminds me of that. It's just really cute. And it does have all French seams inside as well. So there's no rough edges inside. So it's quite flared at the back and shorter in the front. So like when I'm just like looking at myself this way wearing it, I kind of feel like, because I did mine in a pinstripe too, it sort of feels like an apron, but it's nice that it's a little bit longer in the back.
Yeah.
I like it. It's fun.
I don't think it really looks like an apron.
It kind of does though. Kind of looks like an apron. So it goes to just like below, like knee level, but then at the back, it's a couple of inches below. And I like that in a dress because I'll tell you, the dresses, as much as I love the dresses, sometimes you just don't realize the slightest bend in a dress, how short it gets at the back. Yeah. Even like in the summer. So this way I've got no worries. I can work away. I call it like a perfect work dress. You can work away in it and not have to worry about anything. So again, the pattern is Penny Pinafore and it's by So Liberated. And that's the same company, same pattern designer, Meg McElwee, that made the famous Hinterland dress and the Metamorphic dress. And I've made the Metamorphic dress. And we met up on Saturday morning with some ladies at the coffee shop. It was threatening rain. Mm-hmm. So we didn't go under the bridge. We went to the coffee shop to knit. And Sarah came and joined us. And Sarah was wearing a beautiful dress that she had made herself. And it was the Hinterland dress. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what? I have fabric for that. I have the pattern. So you're so inspiring, Sarah. This is the pattern here, the So Liberated. And it's really the type of dress that you can do a lot of things with. You can either make it with a placket, without a placket. You can make the placket go all the way down the dress. You can make it full sleeve, short sleeve, or sleeveless. And I had it's not finished because I was working on it on Sunday night and then I got called into work. But so I have the top of the dress done except for the collar, but everything else is cut out. So I'll just show it to you. This, isn't it pretty?
That's like pretty fabric. Yeah.
It's like a tie dye. So it's like a cotton rayon blend. And I love the colors. And it's beautifully constructed, although it does just look like a really simple dress. Like you do a self-facing inside. So you get nice, neat little seam lines. And I've serge stitched everything. So there'll be no rough edges. I still have to put the collar on at the top and then just the skirt's plain. And I was hoping to have it done and wear it this weekend. I don't know if that's going to happen because it would look really good with my Melody sweater, I was thinking, but it may or may not, probably not work out for me. So that's what I've been working on sewing this week.
Yeah. I know. I wish I could sew too, but I don't really think I can afford to have another hobby where you actually collect stuff.
Well, I don't, but you know what? I collect a lot less fabric than I do I do have lots of fabric, but that's for sewing bags. And I am getting quite a collection of knit fabric because I'm making lots of things for Miles. And, but I don't have a lot of fabric that I've stashed for myself for future projects. I have just like a couple of shelves of it, not a lot. So,
but when I started weaving, that was supposedly it was going to help to tame down my knitting stash because I would use it. Well, now I just have a separate knitting stash and weaving stash. And now I have a fleece stash too. So I can't afford another hobby where I actually collect more things. So.
Right.
Anyway.
Okay.
So
moving on.
Did you finish anything this week?
Heck no. Couldn't even finish the dress. But anyway, did you?
Okay,
I'm sure you
I
did.
did.
Yes.
I only finished one thing. I finished my Get Shorty Goes to Prom socks.
Yay.
So there they are.
They're so pretty.
So these are patterned by Irene Designs, who is Irene of the 3-Ply podcast. And these are done in red sock, blue sock, nubby fingering, and the Josephine colorway is the main color. And then the little picot edge I just did in Poppy's Pom Pom Samoyed yarn. So the Samoyed is the dog. And somehow or other, they spin it into fleece, and it's super soft, and it's supposed to be 8 times warmer than wool. So I do have another pair that holds the 2 yarns together. We got this yarn in Montreal at Knit City, Montreal. And this goes a long way because I've already used, it's 112 grams for the skein of the fingering for the, I believe that it's called something cloud. Do you remember? Anyway.
Oh, sorry.
Anyways, it's a fingering weight, and I've already used it and held it all through another pair of socks. And then it's in the edging here, and I still have like 70 something grams left of it. So it goes really far, like it's really light, but really warm. And then the fingering here too, I've still got, after 2 pairs of socks, I've still got about 30 grams of that left as well. So it goes really far. And what color did you get this in? You got it too, but I can't remember what color you got. Was it the bright pink?
Did I get the bright pink or the brighter blue? I think I got the pink. I got a lot of pink that weekend. I don't know why. The pink was just
because you were with
my
me.
name.
So anyway, this is a great pattern. It's got the strong heel in it, and then you've got a nice little lacy pattern that goes down the front of the foot. And I mean, it's too warm to wear them right now, but they're all ready for me when it gets cooler. So
very nice. Very nice.
And that was the only thing that I finished this week. So I did start some other things, but I didn't finish anything else.
Do you want to talk about what you started? Oh,
well, since we were talking about Irene Designs, I'll show you what I started. Another pair of socks by Irene. And these ones are called, let me find it. Okay, these are the row by row sampler socks. So I finished one. Can you see that design in it?
Yes. I love it.
I thought that this would be so much fun because it kind of reminded me of the Zomerknoes, right? How it was so fun to do because you went and got to the next pattern, and it's got a really neat heel in it.
I like that heel. It's a ribbed heel.
It's yeah. So I've never done that before, and I just love knitting it. And I'm this far on the second sock.
I didn't realize that was Irene's pattern when you were showing them to us at the coffee shop. I didn't realize.
And so this is done in.
Well, now I might have something to work on the train, Irene.
This is done in the Regia Merino yak, and it feels amazing.
I have some of that too.
It feels amazing. So honestly, the reason I wanted a plain color yarn to knit it in, and the reason that I picked it is because I was looking through my one of my totes that has fingering weight yarn in it, and I came across this and went, oh yeah, and I don't have to roll it. So that was the deciding factor. It was the fact that I didn't have to skein it up, and it was already ready to go. But this yarn is really pretty. Like you can tell that it's dyed on something a little different because it's kind of got that depth in it, that like the kind of more, I don't even know what you call it, but because the yak is more of a brown color, this has it gives more depth to the whole color. And I just love the feel and the squish, and it just is perfect for this pattern.
So this is my color. Noelle bought me this, by the way. And you're right. Like even in a different color, you can really see the brown underneath, right? Like you can just see that little bit of a brown undertone. And that's the yak. And it is super soft.
It is. And it's so, when you knit it, it's so squishy and just
Sally, the pattern name is still on the screen. The row by row sampler.
The row by row sampler socks.
Oh, wow.
The socks the socks that I've showed today are for me. So these ones I actually, in Irene's actual pattern, this would be longer, but I just cut out little bits of the pattern so that I'd make it more tailored to my size of leg. So, but that's easy to do with a pattern like this when you've got like just repeats in it. So really fun to knit because again, you can't wait to get to the next pattern. So it's hard to put down. So I don't know whether I might have that finished by the time we go. If not, I'll be finishing it on the train. So
Susan, you're right. Her patterns are very detailed and clear. I've still got this sock here. This is one of my favorite little short socks. This is the Get Shorty. It was the regular pattern, right, Noelle? The Get Shorty. And I made this in Leo.
Isn't that the ribbed one?
Get Shorty ribbed. Sorry, yes. And so it's ribbed all across the front, even though this isn't the easiest yarn to see it in. But she has, her heel was a heel that was new to Noelle and I in this pattern. It's called the Strong Heel. And let me tell you, this is a great fitting short sock. Some people are worried about when they make a short sock that it doesn't stay up at this part of the foot. Well, the way that this one is designed, the shape of this heel, and well, for me anyway, in my high instep, this is a perfect sock. This is a great fit, a really great fit. There are more of these in my future for sure.
Yeah. So. And Teresa had asked, all the socks that we've shown so far have all been top down. So, and Irene, I saw that on your podcast that you got some of the marled yarn from Little Red Mitten. You will love it. You will love knitting with it.
Love it.
I actually managed to knit my whole family a pair of socks in it. And even though I took a break then, I've gone back and knit more with it. It's just amazing yarn. So, and actually, I'll go on to my next whip. Speaking of that.
Okay.
So my next whip is the Cozy Classic Raglan by Jessie Maid, and I'm doing a sample for Little Red Mitten. Well, it's actually for Leo and Roxy. So I started this week too.
Oh, very nice.
And this is the marled stock yarn, but it's held with mohair. So there's the marled stock yarn. So it's kind of like the cream and the gray. And then I'm holding it with this mohair color is called Heather. And it just is making an absolutely gorgeous fabric. Like the feel, it's just feels amazing. Like it's just, I can't even describe it. It doesn't feel like butter, but it feels amazing. So, and this pattern, I have made this pattern before. This is an amazing pattern. It's so well written. The little details are just, I don't know, they're just so much attention just to the little things. So for a really plain sweater, you're getting a really nicely finished, tailored looking garment. So
absolutely.
Like the way they have the seam down the raglans just looks tailored. So
really nice.
And she goes through everything. She's got an amazing way of telling you how to do the tubular cast on for the neck. That's super easy. And Elaine, yes, this is definitely next to Skin Soft.
Next to Skin Soft. Absolutely.
So
this,
for sure.
Even this without mohair, this is some of the softest yarn, this marled yarn. Absolutely. So, okay, a couple of comments. Irene was saying that she'd like to shop at the Little Red Mitten someday in person.
Irene,
you know, the train comes the other way too, right? Like it will come back this way. So you're welcome to hop on that train. We would pick you up at the train station. We would pick you up. We will take you to the yarn store. That is an open invitation. Absolutely. We'd be thrilled to have you come and
I had 5 kids and they've all moved out. I have lots of room.
Yes.
And I live like literally 15 minutes from the Port Huron train station.
That's right.
So
Mary said that she was inspired to also get the, I just lost her, the Get Shorty socks. And she's using the Regia Tutti Frutti yarn in the watermelon pattern. And I bet you that'll be fun. That would be really fun. Nice. She's really liking it.
So
yeah.
Okay. So Kelly, what have you been knitting on?
Okay. So I'm working on the, not that I've done much, but I was working on the Little Miles cardigan, obviously for Miles, and I'm making it in the 12-month size so that he can wear it through the winter. He's 9 months now, 9 months and some. So last week, I was all the way through 2 pocket linings. This week, I'm going to up my game and I'm going to add, I'm going to raise the stakes. I now have 2 finished sleeves.
Wow.
Aren't these cute? Look at that little rib going down there. And I have cast on ribbing, and I am just 2 or 3 rows into the cable starting up. So I'm trying to find you a cable. So there's some cabling there. I love this. I'm having so much fun with it. Well, because the worst is behind me. Now I get to do 24 rows of fun squishy cables before I join on the sleeves. And hey, there'll be no sleeve islands. I'm already off sleeve island, and I haven't even started my journey hardly, right? And I'm using the Barocco Vintage DK, which is...
that color is, I really like that color.
I don't know. I think... I want to say the color is... Oh, no, I don't. I mean, they only come in numbers, but if you look it up, I think it was like chai or... Oh, sorry, I'm not remembering it. But anyway, so it is a 52% acrylic blend, and then it's 40% wool and 8% nylon. This is a workhorse yarn at a fantastic price. So this is something that if you are looking to make a sweater that you don't have to worry about, so also known as the sweater gift that you give away, that's a great yarn to use. I'm knitting this on 3.5 needles, I think. And I'm not a tight knitter by any means. So I just wanted to show you like how nice and even the stitches and how uniform.
What's the gauge for the pattern?
Oh, well, I don't know. You know, I don't look at those things. I barely look at the pattern.
That yarn comes in an amazing array of colors too.
It does. Like there's lots of colors, and I have a tote box of it. So here it says that the gauge knitting on 4mm needles would be
22, I think.
22 stitches. So I think it's like a perfect DK. Like when you look at it, to me, I would say, well, it looks like it could be a little thinner, but when it knits up, it's bang on. And I never worry about swatching with it or anything. And I love it that you can just wash it and lay it flat to dry. So you don't have to worry about it at all. But it's such a pretty color. How cute is Miles going to look trotting around in these and some little blue jeans, maybe little work boots? Seriously. So
and it's
cute.
Got the yarn's got really great yardage too. I think up to about a 12-month size if you were doing a child's sweater. I don't know about with the cables, but just like a child's sweater, you can pretty much get one out of one skein.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really good for like those baby sweaters, like to do a baby sweater for a gift, because you can get, and if you're doing even smaller, if you do 6 months or less, because I've done it, you can actually get a sweater and a little hat out of just one skein of yarn.
Yeah, absolutely. Karen said that she has used Barocco Vintage for all 6 grandchildren's sweaters. Yeah, it's a really good workhorse yarn, and it's incredibly reasonably priced. I know
that was the Barocco DK was what I did the 2 of the girls' dresses in last year, like the anchor or the festival dress, and the first dress I did in a fingering weight, and I'm like, I'm not doing these dresses in fingering weight yarn, so I just adapted the pattern to do it in a DK weight yarn, and it worked up beautifully and easy to wash. And
well, the all of the vintage yarns, I would call them heathered yarns. They definitely have more than one color. Maybe it's Chandra or chai, I don't know, something like that. Anyway, they all have, like, there's a secondary color in there, and the stitch definition is actually, it's pretty good too.
Yeah, it is.
I'm happy with that.
And it's even good for color work.
Yes,
like it doesn't have that real superwash feel to it.
No, absolutely not. It's really soft, and I've actually used it to make what are the I can't even see my book. The mittens, the color work mittens.
Yep.
The pointy.
Yep. Selbu,
thank you. I've used it to make Selbu mittens, and I've worn the heck out of them for years. Yeah, it's great yarn. Fantastic yarn.
And Barb says she's used it for a sweater for herself. And that is, I actually did use that yarn I did a sweater for my future daughter-in-law and did it out of that yarn. And it turned out beautifully. That was the Isabel Kramer, can't remember, starts with an A, Alias.
Yes. Yeah, the blue, the beautiful blue that you used. Yeah.
And Becky, no, I don't have another romper for Penelope this week.
Oh, darn.
She is, what date is this? She is almost 2 months old. She was born on the 29th of May. I cannot believe how fast that 2 months has gone by. And so now she's at the point where she's actually smiling.
Aww.
So I know what I'm going, I'm your grandma. I'm your grandma. I have to tell you a Zoe story. Okay. I took Zoe. I went down to visit Japan this week and I took Zoe. I wanted to take in the sweater to show Jolynn that I'm knitting for the store. So I took Zoe with me and she talks the whole time I'm driving, right? Well, we're driving and then she goes, Grandma, a yellow light means slow down. I didn't know I'd get called out by a 4-year-old. And I'm like, well, Zoe, a yellow light means stop if it's safe. She goes, no, Grandma, it means slow down. Anyway, so she had a good time. We went in to see Jolynn and Jillian and they gave her a little ring and she got some stickers. And then we had to go see Jumbo, the elephant. You'll have to take Miles there sometime.
I don't know if I want to take Miles. I don't understand why the town would mark an event where, I mean, the poor elephant.
It's just a remembrance to the elephant.
But it was a tragic accident. I don't know. Oh, okay. We'll leave it at that. But anyway. Yeah, I'm sure Miles will see Jumbo at some point. Thank you, Sarah. The colorway is Shana Dal, which is an Indian dish. Yes. And okay, Brenda has asked, thank you, Brenda, for popping it in twice. Noelle, she wants to discuss about your ladder back jacquard.
Okay. Okay, so the ladder back jacquard technique that I used, I went to a tutorial by Suzanne Bryan. Yeah, it's Suzanne Bryan. And if you just go into YouTube and you search ladder back jacquard and Suzanne Bryan, her tutorial on it was amazing. And it's perfect for a sweater where you've got like something here, something here, something here. And you've kind of got long stretches in between where you have to carry your yarn. The way the ladder back technique works is you're basically creating 2 layers of fabric. So where you catch that yarn is never attached to the front of your sweater, but yet you still catch it so that you don't have great big loops for your fingers to stick through.
Right.
So
perfect. There's a little side conversation going on in here about books and what everybody's reading at the moment. Somebody mentioned, was it The Dutch House by Anne Patchett? Yes, The Dutch House. Loved that book. Narrated by Tom Hanks, because I listen to books. And I don't want anybody to tell me that's not reading, because I will defend it. That's still reading. If I'm taking it in and somebody's reading it to me so that I can do something else with my hands, I think I'm still reading the book. I used to be an avid reader, but I had a harder time reading and knitting at the same time. So if somebody wants to read to me, I am here for it. Tom Hanks narrated that book like he was just telling you a story. And I loved his narration so much. Like, seriously, it was like sitting down with Tom Hanks and just letting him talk to you over coffee or tea. That's
I didn't think I would like audiobooks, but actually I do. And plus I speed them up, right? So
of course.
There's some of them are so slow. Like, it depends on the book, but some of them are so slow. But it's great because, yeah, you can sit outside and knit. I don't even have to have I can just put my earphones in. My tablet can be sitting inside. I can go outside. I don't even have to have that with me. And I can knit and do whatever. And yeah, it's great. But I still like to have a book to read at night.
Okay.
But then I have that on a Kobo, not on a book.
And then I want to talk about a book that I just finished, because this might be, yes, it is. It's my favorite book I've read this year. It was called The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. My gosh, what a book. I didn't want the book to end. I want I want the book to become a movie, even though I know that there's no way the movie could be anywhere as good as the book was. Have you read that one yet, Noelle?
No.
Okay,
no.
you got to get
that
that on your Libby Q list.
Okay. What's the name of it again?
The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
Okay.
And oh my gosh, it was a good book. It was just, I don't know, it was kind of there was a little bit fantasy in it, a little bit dark gothic. It kind of had tones of the Practical Magic series, but oh my goodness. And it was a heart wrencher. And I don't want to give anything in the plot away, but I did not want it to end. And the book spans like 300 years. Okay. It's so good. Get that one on your list.
I will. Yes. I will. Okay.
Yeah, you'll love it. Love it.
Okay.
Tammy said that was her favorite book too. I just didn't want it to end. I was so sad every time I would like sign on to the book, because I get to listen to it on my way to work and on my way home. So that right there, that's an hour of reading a day. And I'm just like in a zone. I couldn't even tell you probably anything I'm passing on the way to work. I love, that's my perfect time in the car to listen. And it, like, I don't know, every time I would sign in and I would see how much time I had left, I would start to feel a little more sad. And when it got down to like an hour and a half left, I thought, oh no, I only have today and maybe I'll finish it tonight and then a little bit tomorrow. But oh my goodness, read that book. Okay. All right. What else? What else are you working on?
That's all that I've actually started so far. But why don't we do a giveaway?
Okay. Well, okay. Yeah. Let's do that. So
since we're so excited about going away.
Okay. Yes. So I did a little shopping this week. And well, no, actually, I guess I did a little shopping a couple of weeks ago, but then it came in. I didn't have it yet. And you're right, Sharon. It's safer to listen to the book than read while I'm driving. You're right.
Or knit.
Absolutely. Or knit. Yeah. Full disclosure, I used to do that occasionally. If I was on a road that wasn't very busy, like a side road or something, I would kind of keep a book at the steering wheel. Years ago, I don't do it now. I'm over that. But anyway, so my package came in from Full Moon Fibers. There's their card. And they were having a sale. I think it was 20% off. I know a few people in here jumped on the sale wagon and they got some goodies. So I'll show you afterwards what I bought, but the lovely ladies at Full Moon Fiber, so kind and generous, sent along some little gifties for you all. And we're going to give one of them away tonight. They sent these little packages of the most adorable stitch markers and needle minders, needle keepers. So the one that we're going to do tonight, the little stitch markers, by the way, are cats, little kitty cats. I really don't want to give these away, but look, they're kitty cats, rings. And then this is a little jar with slices of kiwi in it, little teeny tiny polymer kiwis. And then these are the needle keepers. So they have holes in them that you can pop them on the ends of your needles. And they're like a sort of like a squishy, they feel like erasers, those colored erasers you got as a kid. And they're sunflowers. So I think this is the perfect little summer set. Thank you so much for adding in some goodies. So here's what you can do to win them. Noelle and I are going to Chicago this weekend. We already talked about that. So after the podcast is over, a couple of things. After the podcast is over, and then it's up on YouTube to live there forever, we want you to go below in the comment section. Firstly, we'd really like you to give it a thumbs up, because that would be awesome. And then secondly, leave us a comment. We want to know, what is your favorite project to take while you're traveling? What's your favorite thing to work on while you're traveling? I guess it doesn't have to be specifically a pattern name. Maybe you like to work on socks or something, but if you have a specific pattern, that would be awesome too. So we'll let those comments run over the week, and then we will do a draw next week and we'll let you know who won that. But they're so cute. Thank you again so much, Full Moon Fibers. Yeah. So there's Yeah, the Progress Keepers, the little jar, and they're silicone needle stoppers, and it says that they will fit up to a 6.5 millimeter. And 10 of those very cute little cat markers.
Yeah, they're cute.
So, okay. So that's the giveaway for next week. Awesome. All right, now I can show you what I got. Sarah is busy writing down book suggestions. And that's another thing. If you have book suggestions, I want to know those too. I always keep 10 books on hold at all times, because when just like knitting, as soon as I cast something off, I have to cast something on. It's like I've got to have something ready to go, and I like to have that with books. So, all right. So here's what I picked up. And you know what? Not all of it's for me. Some of these things, in fact, one of everything that I'm showing you here tonight is going in the prize pool. So this first one, and this might be my favorite. This is called Treat Up Land, which is this one. And this is on their Nebula Eclipse sock set. So it's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. You get, just a moment, sorry. You get a full 100 gram skein, and then they have included 2 minis, coordinating minis, and they're each 20 grams. Mm-hmm. This is easily 2 pairs of socks.
Easily 2 pairs.
Easily 2 pairs of socks. Yeah. So you can do, heels and toes in one color, or you could make 2 identical pairs and you could do heels and toes in each of the colors. But anyways, easily 2 pairs. But look at the gorgeousness in there. I would love a sweater in those 2 colors. That purple and that green, it's perfect. So that's one. This is another one I got. This one is called 6 Feet Apart at the Mistletoe. This does not speak Christmas to me, though. It could be Christmas, but it could be any time of year. Look at the colors in here. Look at these colors. And then here's their minis that they have. It's like a really, really, really dark green and a bright pink. I just love this. So this is kind of like, it's the zebra yarn. Mm-hmm. So parts of it will have this black in color, and then other ones are just the dyed color. It's so, so pretty. And then I also got a sock blank. And this one also comes with 2 minis. And I've bought their sock blanks before. So I was able to get a full pair of socks, full-size socks, and a shorty pair of socks out of the one sock blank. So, so it is, I'm wondering though. This one, it says the tube is approximately 50 grams.
It looks bigger than that.
It does look bigger than that, doesn't it? And this is their waist yarn. They tuck it all in there nicely. So nice and neat. Anyway, whether you get 1 pair or 2 pair, you're going to get a gorgeous pair. So this is going into the sock bin, prize bin as well. And then the one thing that I got, this one's for me. I love this color. This is called Unbelievable, and this is Eclipse fingering. So not a
color. that was one of the first colors I ever bought from.
Really?
Yes.
Well, my way of thinking was that it would be really pretty. And my first thought, sight unseen, I thought it would look really nice to do like a color work yoke, right? Yep. And in my mind, I was thinking of this color, which is straw. And I do think this would look really nice, right? But I also have slow. And slow would be equally beautiful. Look at that. So I don't know.
I really like that. I just would worry that some of the color might get lost with that dark color being closer to the slow.
Right.
I think you'd see more of the color with that.
Yeah. Isn't it pretty though?
Yep.
Gosh, they dyed pretty yarn.
The one that I got though, mine's not Eclipse. It's Unbelievable, but it's just like a straight sock yarn. It doesn't have the black in it.
This is like every happy color for me. It's got the purples and the golds all in one skein. This brings me joy. This brings me joy.
It's funny, we don't have to tell each other and we buy the same thing.
Well, I noticed tonight when you were popping in some pictures of things you cast on, you've popped in pictures that I was getting ready to cast on that we didn't talk about. No. So once again, it's going to look like I'm, copying you. But anyway, Yeah. So if anybody else got in on that sale, I know a few of you did. I hope you really liked your purchases. I'm sure you liked your purchases. How could you not like your purchases? And enjoy
yes, Sarah
that.
says their merino non-superwash base is beautiful and super soft. I did get some of that. I just need more time to knit everything.
I know.
But I didn't shop at the sale, but I had bought quite a bit at their pop-up shop at Little Red Mitten. Like quite a bit.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Anyway. Okay, so I know you don't know yet what you're taking to knit on for Chicago, but
no,
I do know what I'm taking, so I'm going to show you.
How many projects are you taking? 5?
Well, one's this sock and it's almost done, so it doesn't really count. So it is 5, but that won't really count. So
you'll have that one finished before we leave Port Huron.
I had to do another pair of socks, so I'm taking this with me, my corked yarn, to cast that on. So that's going to be my next sock. So you should take yours and then we can knit them together.
I might, because those little sock sets travel really well.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's going to be one. But then I really wanted to use some of this. So this is my Kiviot. This is it's 15% Kiviot, 80% merino, and 5% silk. So this was Rachel had gotten me some of this for Christmas. So I wanted to do just like a little kerchief. So I was looking through and I found this pattern. It is by Church Mouse. I think it's Church Mouse Yarns and Tees. And it's just this little, it's called the Blackberry Kerchief. And I think it'll be perfect. And it's a lace weight. It's a lace weight. And this is lace weight yarn. It takes like one skein, 25-gram skein. So this is the Blackberry Kerchief by Church Mouse Yarns and Tees. So
that's beautiful. It looks like tiny little daisies, like a little.
Yeah. So it's beautiful. So I'm going to take that. So that'll be one project. It's not cast on yet. Obviously it's still in the ball here, but that's a free pattern.
Okay.
So, and that would be perfect if you've just got like one of those little 25-gram skeins of a not fingering weight. That's not what I mean. Mohair. Because that's what theirs is done in, is the mohair, but I think it'll look fine in this. And I think it'll just be a nice little kerchief. It'll be super warm because of the Kiviot in here. And then I've got another skein of these that I might do some matching hand warmers at some point, but I'm only taking enough to do the kerchief for right now.
Okay.
So, and then
I see where you're going with this. You're taking tiny little projects.
I'm taking tiny projects. Yes.
Okay.
And then I can fit more to bring home.
Yes.
So the next one that I'm going to start is this one.
This is the one that was in my list. I was going to cast this on the other day.
This is the Outline Tee by Jessie Made Designs. So I've looked at this for a long time. Now that one looks like it's kind of cropped. I'm probably not going to do mine really cropped. It'll look cropped to everybody else, but it'll only come to my hip bone. And I am going to do it in my Remix. So this is Remix Light. So this yarn, again, here we are talking about Barocco yarns again, but this is Barocco Remix Light. So it is a combination of nylon, cotton, acrylic, silk, and linen. Now they say that this one is a DK, but there is 432 yards in 100 grams. So if I've been looking at patterns online, and basically I've seen it knit anywhere from like a 20 stitch gauge up to like 24. So I believe that the Outline Tee is 22, and that is what's on the ball band is 22. So I'm going to do it in this. And I think this color is kind of a grayish blue. I think it's called Blue Mist is the color name. So that's one that I'm going to start. And then the next one that I'm going to start is also in the Barocco. And this is the, I guess I can't have.
Also on my queue list.
This is the Cascada by Felipa Carnero. So now in this pattern, you can see on her that waterfall lace only goes down the one side, but I'm going to go and do it down both sides. I was looking at some patterns on Ravelry, and someone did it, and they did the lace down on both sides, and they said to compensate so that the tee doesn't get too wide, every third increase, they did a corresponding decrease in the stocking stitch. Yeah, just so that you didn't get like super, super wide. So that I'm going to do in, again, I'm going to do it in the remix, but in this color.
Oh, I like that color too.
I don't know what this color's called. It's called color number 6971.
Also known as pink for Noelle.
It is pink. So I'm going to do that one in this color. So those two I want to get cast on. And I mean, that means like realistically for those projects, that's all I need to take. Right. So
Very
those.
Nice. Very nice.
And this and the socks that I'm working on. So that's not a whole lot to pack away to take in
not
a
at
project.
all.
So I can fit lots of stuff to bring.
Jackie wants to know if you can explain what Kiviot is.
Okay. So Kiviot is the down of a muskox, and it's very, very warm. It's warmer than when we were talking before about the Samoyed yarn. It's warmer. I don't know how many times warmer, but it's a lot more insulating than wool. I think it's warmer than cashmere. And there's different ways. I'm not sure whether there's muskox farms or not. I'm really not sure about the collection of it. Some of them actually do just collect the tufts of yarn that get caught as the muskox sheds it, because it's kind of its under down coat for the winter. And then when it gets into the spring, it does shed it.
And that would be the foraged muskox.
Yes.
Yes.
The first time that Ross and I went out to PEI, which I think was either 2016 or 2017, we went to Belfast Mini Mills, and they sell Kiviot there. And I actually got some, and I've still got it. And it's actually 100% Kiviot, but they spin the Kiviot there. And she did this little thing where she gave us just like a little tiny ball of the down, and you hold it in your hands like that. And honestly, you can feel the heat generated from it just by holding your, yes, it's unbelievable. So yeah, so that's Kiviot.
Okay. So. And yes, Brenda, Noelle is wearing a love note.
Yes.
Yes. Yep. Okay. So. Sharon says that the outline tee is super cropped.
I know, but I'll just do it longer.
You'll do it longer. If I were doing it, Sharon, I probably was heading towards a cropped one, because the yarn that I was looking at would have been something that I would want to wear with my summer dresses. So I was probably going to do a cropped one if I had cast that one on. So
I will probably, and it looked, when you look at the picture, well, it looks quite wide because it's cropped, right? But I think that the pattern says that you should have like around 6 inches of positive ease. So I think I'll do that, but I'll still do it. I won't do it super cropped. I'll probably do it like
a little longer. Sure. Yeah.
Yep. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are some of the plans. And then the other thing that I've got planned, but I'm not sure that I'm going to take it with me. I can't remember exactly when, but 4 or 5 years ago, my one son that's getting married this September went to Japan. So he brought me back yarn. So he actually went to this yarn store. It's called Avril, Avril. It was in Kyoto. So he brought me back. It came on cones like this. So he brought me back this one, and then he brought me back this one. This is all I've got left of this one. So you go into the store, and what they do, they've got all these spools of yarn just like in great big cones, and they roll off what you want. So like this one here, there's 3 different strands of 3 different yarns together. So they're cottons and silks. And that's the same on this one. There's 3 different, like, I think there's like, this one's like a cotton boucle, and then there's just like a cotton plied yarn. And then there's this just silk one, like a
very nice
skinny strand of that.
Yeah, that's pretty, really pretty.
So with the yellow, what I did was this, because obviously with the 3 of them together, you've got quite a bulky yarn. So what I did with the yellow is I made this shawl.
Oh, that's pretty. I don't think I've seen that one before.
So this is the prairie, just a minute. I've got it on here. This is the wild prairie shawl. And here's some pictures. This was obviously when I made this, my hair was a lot shorter.
Yes.
But anyway, so this is the wild prairie shawl. It's by Kalura Hudson. And that took up, that little bit of yellow was basically all that I had left from that skein. So since he's getting married this year, what I thought I would do, let me take that off there. I'm going to do the same shawl, this shawl, because I do really like it. And it's like, it's light because it's cotton and silk. It looks great just with like a black plain dress. But I thought I'm going to do the same one, and I'm going to do it in this so I can put it over. I've got like this denim-y kind of long jumper that I'm going to wear to the rehearsal, and that'll look perfect with it. And
very
it's kind
nice.
of like,
I like that.
So I'm going to do the same shawl. And I thought, well, because he got it for me, it would be nice to do it and wear it to the rehearsal party for his wedding.
Very nice.
So but that won't take very long because I think it's done on like an 8mm needle. So it'll be a really quick project.
I've been busy writing and thinking about our speech at my son's wedding reception in 2 weeks, and hoping I can get through it without crying. I don't know. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm kind of putting some things into it that depending on my mood, I don't know. I have a hard time getting through things sometimes. So we'll see. I'll make sure Mike is standing beside me, and I'll have it on my phone. He might have to take over and keep reading. I hope not, but I don't know. That's just me. Okay. So
I don't ever write speeches down.
Well, I have things I
just
want to say.
go through and know what I want to say. And
you have a little more experience than me. Okay. This is your fifth one now.
This is my fifth one. Yep.
Yeah. This is my first one where I have a chance to speak, and I have a captive audience. So I have things I want to say, and they're going to listen. Gosh darn it. So yeah, Barb says I can cry away. Oh, I don't want to cry, but I might. I'm a crier, but you're not a crier, and I am.
No, I'm not a crier. And I didn't like mine were I just basically told funny stories about growing up. So, and they all gave me lots of material for that.
Yes.
So,
just going back to the caveat, I guess, where is it? River City Yarns podcast. They posted, oops, I lost it again. They posted a tour this week of a caveat mill in Alberta. So that might be interesting if somebody wants to check that out.
Yep.
Thanks for letting us know that.
Okay, someone had asked about the cast on for this. I did a tubular cast on, and I know that the love note calls for a provisional cast on. I've done a lot of love notes, and I've never done a provisional cast on. I work back, figure the number of stitches, cast on, and work down. And I think you've done it both ways, right, Kelly?
Yes.
Yep.
And I would only keep doing it where I just cast on and knit moving forward. But it was the first time I did the pattern, I thought, no, I want to do it exactly the way the pattern is written, because obviously the designer has something in mind when they're asking you to do that. Right. And so I thought, well, just follow the process the way the designer wants it to be done. But then after I did it, I thought, well, I feel like that took extra time for me. The neckline was fine.
Yep.
So the next time I just did it. But somebody says, going back to that, somebody says that if I don't cry, they won't know it's me. I know, right? Here's my little secret tip. I think as long as I do not look at my daughter, if I don't look at Kendall, I might be okay. She will make me cry because we are like, I don't know. We're both criers. We're big criers. And if I look at her, then she's going to make me cry. So I will just have to not look at her, and maybe I can get through it. I don't know.
I'm sure my boys are sitting there going, can she just sit down? So.
Enough already.
Anyway, before I have to, I said that I didn't buy anything, but I do have an acquisition, and I forgot to show it last week, and Zoe will be very disappointed if I don't show it.
Okay.
So here is my little stitch marker that Zoe made me. So she made this with her Shrinky Dinks. So she made this for me. So it's a little llama, and she made Ross a little whale, and his was a keychain. So and for mine, she put the little pink rings on it because she knows my favorite color is pink. So
cute.
I told her I would show everybody that, and it's so super light. It really is nice for it wouldn't be a stitch marker, but a progress keeper.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Okay. So things that I might take on the train. Did anybody else get this pattern this week? I thought these were super fun.
Oh, those are cute.
These are the Margarita Mix by Lisa Ross, who's Paper Daisy on Ravelry. And she released this pattern this week. And I thought they were just super cute. And I was thinking of a couple of things. I was thinking stash busting. And then I was also thinking of those little United sock balls that we have, because I know that I bought some in some really pretty bright colors, but I just thought they were really, really cute. And there's even a little bit, here I go with them. I'm using the mouse as a pointer. I'm sorry. I know you can't see it, but if you could peek underneath the sock, there's actually some ribbing underneath there as well. So for anybody that maybe struggles again with the fit of a short sock, this might be a really good option for you. So that's one of the things I was thinking about.
Those are cute.
I don't know if I'll take Miles' cardigan on there or not. There's 3 charts to get across. I feel like there's no possible way I could be sitting and having a conversation with anybody and doing that. That's kind of alone time knitting. So I don't know if I will take that with me or not. I want to cast on a sweater. I've been saying that for a while now. And then I cast on Miles' sweater instead. So I might take that. I might take some of the Rose Hill yarn, the Get Cork. That would be fun if we were working on something at the same time. I don't know. There's so many options. But yeah, I want to keep the bag light on the way there. So, if I'm tempted and I need to bring something home, then I can. Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm going to get some of these cast on tomorrow. And I'm looking at my colors, like especially those. Look, it's color coordinated projects.
Yeah.
So
very nice. Very nice.
Because I didn't want to take the Leo and Roxy one, because even though the marled, I don't think I would necessarily have to alternate skeins. But because the mohair is hand dyed, I'm alternating skeins, which means I've got 4 balls of yarn, right? Because it's holding a mohair and
right. So that's that's going to take up a lot of space.
So even though it's just fingering, I don't want to be dealing with 4 different balls of yarn. So
Sharon's checking out. See you later, Sharon.
Bye, Sharon.
Yes. Have a lovely trip. Look forward to photos. So I'm going to try to definitely get some footage while we're there. And I don't know if it'll be like its own episode or if we'll have some short little bits to show next week. I have no expectations. I have no idea.
We didn't really know. We didn't really know in Montreal either.
No, we didn't. We have no idea what we're going to get up to this weekend.
Well, I know I won't be taking any pictures because my phone's still not. Yeah. I had to go and order a new camera for my phone.
Oh dear.
So right now tonight I have Ross's phone again. So, I mean, it's fine. Everything else on it still works. I just can't take pictures.
Oh, I've got the odds. Okay. Jill wants to know how many Chicago stores are planned. I think only one yarn store.
This one. Yep.
One. And that's the Elgin
Knitworks.
Elgin Knitworks. Yes.
Yep.
Which is a different pronunciation because we have
Elgin. I think
is it Elgin?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out on the weekend.
I don't know. I'm not sure because
we say Elgin for Port Elgin.
We say Port Elgin, but I am pretty sure that when I watched their last podcast, they were talking about the Elgin yarn shop. So I guess we'll find out. So maybe we have a Canadian way of saying it and they have the American way of saying it. I don't know. But anyway, I'm sure it's filled with lots of squishy goodies. And that's a universe.
It's Elgin.
Gin like the drink. Okay. So it's different than how we would pronounce it. In Canada, It's called Elgin. No gin.
No gin. No gin.
No gin. You know what?
Jean, we're going to Chicago. Jean said she missed the beginning and she wanted to know where we're going. We're going to the mini meetup that's being hosted by Frivolous and Frugal podcast and the 3-Ply podcast.
3-Ply.
Yes. So it is in Hoffman Estates. It's about 30 miles northwest of Chicago.
And we are ridiculously excited about this. We've very limited travel in the last, as everybody, very limited travel. And so we are ridiculously excited about breaking out, getting out somewhere.
Yep.
And I also noticed about 10 minutes ago that I completely forgot tonight to take notes on our timestamp. So now I have just added to my work. I'm going to have to go back and actually look at things that look like we're doing something. But while I'm doing that after, I'll go in and start pulling up banners. Do you want to talk about what we have going on in Ravelry right now?
Oh, okay. Okay. We have 2 knit-alongs going on right now. So the first one is our sock knit-along that goes all year.
Nope, not that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'll talk about the summer hug one first. Okay.
So how about?
One of the knit-alongs that we have going on right now is the Summer Hug Make-Along. And that is a make-along where you make something that you can give yourself a hug with. So it can be a shawl, it can be a sweater, it can be socks. Excuse me. And the only requirement is that you use a yarn that's got at least 30% of a summer fiber. So that can be silk, linen, cotton, hemp, bamboo. Can you think of any others?
Flax.
Flax.
Tencel. Yeah. I think that's it for me.
Yep.
That's my limit.
So yeah. So any summer type fiber. So like this would be something that you could do. Like this is Barocco Summer Silk. The yarns that I showed tonight, like the what is this one called again? Remix Light. That is a summer fiber. This one, although this all cotton and silk. And this is surprisingly, I took this, we were at a wedding, and the wedding that we went to in Toronto when I went back to the knitting loft, it was cool that evening, and I had a black dress on with this shawl. And surprisingly, for the fact that it's that lacy and that fiber, it actually, well, not that it was warm, but it actually provided a little bit of warmth. Like it was cool that night. We were on an upstairs kind of balcony terrace, and it actually did like provide some warmth. So
this would also be a good opportunity to pull out your Holst Coast if you have that.
Yep.
That's a perfect fiber for this knit along or make along. Yeah. Okay. So that's.
So Leslie said she was gifted Juniper Moon Winter Solstice, which is a blend of linen, flax, and cotton. And she would like to make a summer shawl. Any recommendations? I'm not sure what weight of yarn that is, Leslie. And that was one other thing quickly that I should say that I almost forgot. We did have a comment last week. One of our viewers said she's going to Quebec City, I believe, in like early September. And she just wondered if there were yarn stores there. And I'm sure there must be. I don't know of them, but I'm sure there must be. So if anybody's got some, maybe you can like pop that down under the podcast so it's in the comments for later. But any yarn stores that you can think of in the Quebec City area, that would be, I'm sure there's lots that are worth visiting. So okay, so do you want to talk about our sock, Cal?
Sure. So with the socks, finish a pair, enter a pair. It's that easy. It doesn't even matter when you started them. As long as you finish them in 2022, you can enter them into this make along. And we draw 2 prizes every month. We have a pattern prize and we have a sock yarn prize. And then we have a grand prize at the end of the year. And it is a gorgeous bag from Full Moon. Well, it's still sitting here. I'll show you. It's a gorgeous bag from Full Moon Fibers that they donated to the podcast. And it has some beautiful, it's got one of their sock sets in there. The Nebula Eclipse. And this one is called Birds in Paradise with the 2 minis to match. It's a perfect match for the bag. Absolutely beautiful. And that is going to be the grand prize at the end of the year. And the goal is that we reach 2,022 pairs. And I forgot again tonight to check. You know, and I got here early tonight, and I forgot.
I did look, and I can't remember the number, but it was over 1,600.
Over 1,600. So I think we're going to get there. I think you guys are.
And get your socks in this week, because next week, when we podcast next week, it'll be start of the new month. So we'll be drawing prizes for.
That's right. So there'll be prizes on next week's show. Yes.
And the Summer Hug one goes until the end of, I forgot to say that. The Summer Hug one goes till the end of September.
Yes.
So you got time on that one to get your projects in there.
And in the meantime, if you have any questions or you want to get in touch with us, this is our Gmail address, knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com. You can reach out to us there. And I did have a question this week that I did not get back to answering yet, but I can maybe talk about that now. I was asked from point of view for sewing, what would be some good suggestions for making bags or market bags? And really any woven fabric is going to be your best bet. So if you're, you can make something in as lightweight as your basic quilting cotton, but you would definitely want to line that. Then if you want to make an unlined bag, you could move up to the lighter weight canvas. Still lining it, you could use a linen or a Brussels washer linen, which would be a little bit heavier too. I use all of the above when I'm making bags. But I do like a nice lightweight canvas if it's going to be like a larger market bag, and that will give you some stability for your bags. But just stick to something that's woven. Stay away from, anything that's stretchy or gauzy, and you should be okay. Yeah.
Everyone's saying $15.99, so I was pretty close with $1,600. I knew
very
it was right
close
around there.
Okay.
And
school teacher Sarah says that she's done some research. In the UK, Elgin is pronounced with a hard G. It is a masculine name of an Old English derivative, and the school that she teaches at is called Lord Elgin. So we will pronounce it accordingly to the country we're in at the time.
That's right. So Leslie says that her yarn that she's looking for a pattern to do a shawl is a sport weight.
Sport weight.
I'm trying to think what I've done in a sport weight.
I mean, for a shawl, you can really use.
Yeah, you could use a fingering weight pattern. Your shawl would just turn out
a little bit bigger,
just a bigger size. Yeah. So
Sarah says, "Mic drop." There you go.
Sharon said, "Would the remix light work for a summer canoes?" According to, do you remember what the tension was on the summer? Was it 18?
No, but 20? I know that it's the yarn that I use, the Drops Bell, which was one of the recommended yarns, is definitely thicker than the Remix Light.
Yes, I was going to say this. I think that this would be a little thin, even though I have seen where people use it at that. It just depends on the fabric that you like and what you would want it to knit up like. So you could do a swatch in this and see if you like what the fabric's like. And go from
then
there.
You could do the math and adjust the sweater accordingly if that's what you liked. Julie is suggesting for the sport weight shawl, pressed flowers. I don't know if you have two colors to work with, but pressed flowers would be perfect. And
but for sport weight,
for
sport weight, that's probably what I do. Is I would probably pick a fingering weight pattern, go up in needle size, and just end up with a bigger shawl, because there's a lot of fingering weight patterns that also the size of the shawl is adjustable, that you can kind of make the shawl specifically to the amount of yarn that you've got. So.
And Klaska wondered what the name of the socks were, and it was the Get Shorty Ribbed, were these that I had done. Or now I'm wondering, was it? Yes, the name of the shorty sock with the strong heel. So Klaska, it was the Get Shorty Ribbed by, is it Irene Designs?
Yes, and these also have the strong heel, and these are Get Shorty Goes to Prom. So it's similar construction, just different through the foot.
Judy starting the pressed flower shawl. That's still on my list. I'm so envious of yours.
Anne says that maybe you can look for yarn for that this weekend.
Maybe. I'm pretty sure I have yarn for that. Let's just be honest.
Anne says the Zummer Canoes is 18 stitches with 5 millimeters. So I would say that at 18 stitches is going to be pretty light.
Yeah.
So.
And I did use the 5 millimeter with the drops. I think I could have gone to a 4.5. I made the size large. I'm happy with the fit. It's, it came out according to pattern, for sure it did. I'm just a little, I don't know if concerned is the right word, but with the bell, there's so much bounce to that bell that I am wondering if the sweater will stretch out a little bit, and then hoping that it's not too big. So I think I probably could have gone to a 4.5 and got just a slightly denser gauge. And I don't think it would have thrown the sweater off too much. But I'm happy with it. Yeah. Debbie's getting ready to start the Sommer Knus as well. You will not be disappointed. It's so much fun. And I totally want to cast on those socks that you made. Totally.
These?
Yes. I love that. It's like a Gansey. It's a Gansey. It's called Gansey, right? When they're doing all those samples. Yeah. It's very nice. Very nice. Okay.
Anyways, Patricia wanted to know if you could do the Sommer Knus with a fingering weight. You could, but you would have to figure out what your gauge is and do the math to get it to fit, because basically you can keep repeating the patterns if it's just like the length that you're working out. So, I mean, you can switch up the yarns for any pattern. You just have to figure out the math depending on what your gauge is compared to the gauge of the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So, Klaska, the salty RT is beautiful.
I want that too. I want that one. That one's on my list. Absolutely.
So,
Sharon says she has many colors from Wool Warehouse in the Drops Bell. It does. It comes in quite a few colors.
Yeah.
It's very generous. I did mine in the navy blue. I also have a purple, a really nice purple in that same yarn. But there's a color. I was going to say there's a color I want. And I was even watching a podcast the other day while I was sewing, and Crayabea. And she was knitting with that almond rose. And I'm like, and Lynn at work, when we ordered, she ordered the almond rose. And when it came in, I'm like, dang it. Why didn't I order that? But anyway, I'm going to order it again. It'll still be there.
I know. I mean, I was looking at yarn and I'm like, stop, just stop. Go, we just have so much gorgeous yarn that I want to knit with, but there's always more gorgeous yarn that keeps coming out.
Mm-hmm. Kathy, you're right. She said the lightweight hipster or the golden sand would be good shawls to make. Yes, very good. Yep. So, okay, my dear, we are at an hour and 17. We
need to go cast on some things.
Yeah, and now, well, first I have to go back and timestamp. Gosh darn it! How did I not remember? Because I got traveling on the brain. We're just too excited. Yeah. How am I going to sleep for 2 nights?
So
we have to leave really early in the morning too, on the day. So I'm not worried about it, but that's early for me. I know you'll be up. It's like a normal time for you, but that's early for me. So okay. Oh, okay. Sharon says that color is in her parcel, the almond rose.
There you go.
See, I better order it because there'll be none left.
Yeah, they're never going to make that again. Everybody wants this color. Let's not ever make it again.
Yeah, let's never make it again. Okay, well, thank you so much for spending some time with us this evening. It has been, as usual, a highlight of my week.
Irene said we better sleep on the train. No, Irene, we have to knit on the train.
Yeah, clearly, Irene, you've never traveled with Noelle. There'll be no sleeping on the train. It's like knit faster.
That's right.
You've not finished a sweater yet. Knit. So, yeah. No, we travel really well together. But anyway, it's great. So get your socks in. There'll be prizes next week. So we'll have sock prizes next week. We'll have, don't forget, oops, sorry about that. Don't forget that was really loud. Sorry. Don't forget to leave a comment below after this is posted up on YouTube so that you have an opportunity to win this great little set.
I know, it's so cute.
So cute. I was having a hard time.
Oh, Luana just added her socks, so we're 1,600.
Yay! Awesome. Have a great week, everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. It's so much fun on Tuesday nights. The time just goes by so fast.
So quick.
That's what the weekend's going to be like, Kelly. It's just going to go
so like that. Quick. It'll be done and gone. So, all right.
Take care, everybody. Happy knitting, and we will see you next week.
You will.
Bye.